Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
/x/ is boring right now. Let's get an Innawoods thread going.
I'm located in Northern Virginia and a few friends, and I went to explore this big trail where a few Civil War battles took place. Obviously, it was nighttime. But I guess here's the story. Get to the trail, walk past the gate, and proceed into the dark, semi-moonlit forest. Shooting the shit, puffing on a cig. We wander about 35 minutes into the woods and decide that we'll get to the field, clearing up ahead, and take a look around and then head back. Get to the field and explore, don't see shit. Regroup and prepare to head back. See two small orange lights low in some nearby brush, kinda like eyes. Due to immense boredom and not wanting to consider this a wasted trip, one friend and I decide to go check it out. We get about 15 feet away from the brush. The two eyes haven't moved. Friend starts to get nervous and wants to back out. Trying to talk him into it. Start to hear the bush move around. Flick light back into the direction. It's a dog. The dog is really skinny, looks diseased, and starts to growl at us. We just back up to the group and start to leave. The dog follows us the entire way, always within 10 feet of us. We get back to the home stretch towards the main gate. See a shadow pass by the gate, look like a person. We stop and are like, whoa, that was spooky. We kept going and got in the car. The dog didn't go past the gate, but stood behind it and watched us leave. Not that crazy, but we did go back a while later and saw a bit more stuff. Guess I'll post that too before I go to work. 1 year later, it was October 23rd, and two friends from the same group and I had smoked and went out to eat. We decide we want to get scared shitless and see a ghost in the woods, so we head back to the Civil War trails. Here's how things proceed. We head in, talk about the time we came here last year and the dog and the spooky shadow. We follow a different part of the trail into an opposite direction into the woods. We walked for like 25 minutes, arriving at a bridge that went over a large creek, probably a 35-foot long bridge, I'd say. We sit on the benches on the bridge and have a cig. After about 10 minutes of chilling, we hear footsteps coming towards us on the trail and figure it's some other kids trying to get spooked. Turn our lights towards the direction and see nothing. Well, that's weird, ha ha ha. Shake it off since we were on the ganja and probably just thought we heard something we didn't. Continue across the bridge and deeper into the woods. Nothing for a while. We reached the end of the trail to another gate, which on the other side had a small parking area and two houses adjacent. Turn around and start to head back. About another 5 minutes of walking, we hear something behind us. It's the same dog from the last time and looks exactly the same. We're surprised he's still alive in such rough shape. He looks like maybe a black lab or something like that. I don't know much about dogs beyond the typical popular kinds. We stand there and stare at it for a while. It stands still and watches us too. We decide to head out. It follows us like it last time, always staying within 10 feet of us. The entire walk back from here, things get kind of funky. We make it across the bridge again. As we proceed through the trails, we hear footsteps coming across the bridge like someone's running. Turn around to see if there's a jogger or something. The dog must have heard it too because he was turned towards the bridge watching. The footsteps fade, and we end up seeing nothing. We wait a while longer and decide to head out. The dog follows us still. We get back to the main stretch leading to the gate. I stop to light a cig. A friend ties his boots up. Before we go to continue, we hear a seemingly human yell from deep in the woods. Sounds like it came from where we were the first time. We quicken our pace and continue down the trail. A shadow passes by the gate again, still looks just as human as it did before. We get back to the car, decide we're gonna give the dog a half-eaten bag of Lay's we had in the car. Toss the bag over the gate and hear him start to gobble them down, and we get the fuck out of there. The end of my Civil War trail experiences.
Got one. Used to live in the middle of nowhere in Northern California. Small, cult-ish town called Cottonwood. Every weekend, Mom and Stepdad would kick me out of the house and tell me to go play, have an imagination. Would lock the door and tell me not to come back until sundown. Closest neighbors were 3 miles away. Lived on a fairly large property, never knew exactly how big it was. Well, behind our house was this gigantic forest. Used to go into it all the time. Never would go too far in because I was always by myself, and it was scary as shit. Decide one day, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go all the way. Grab my pipe I always carried with me. Was steel. Always pretended it was a sword. And headed in. I walked for hours, I remember that. Thorn bushes everywhere, got cuts all over my arms, legs, face. Don't remember too much of the journey. Only remember the ending. Really well, too. I finally got to a fence after, I would guess, about 2 or 3 hours of walking. Old wooden fence that was kind of rotting. Had a lot of wear and tear. Fence goes to my left and right, as far as I can see. Just seems to go on forever. Fence is only about up to my shoulders, so I climb over it and keep going. Why not? The forest was always pretty dense, but after I climbed over the fence, it seemed to get so dense, not much light from the sun was breaking through. Walk for a few minutes before I make my way around a final tree, and that's when I saw it. I will never forget this. Out in these woods, in the middle of nowhere, was a gigantic spiderweb. A gigantic spiderweb made of barbed wire. It was easily 15 to 20 feet in height and width. It completely blocked me from going any farther. I stood there for probably a minute or two, trying to comprehend what I was seeing. Why was this thing way out here? Who put it there? Then a voice. "A long way from home, aren't we, boy?" I jumped a fucking mile. I turned a little to my right, and there was this decrepit hillbilly just looking at me. I didn't know what to say. Yeah. I can't believe I didn't notice him before. He couldn't have walked up. There was too many sticks and leaves and crap on the ground, I would have heard him. That means he was there the whole time. From the moment I saw the spiderweb of wire, he saw me. He just sat there, looking me up and down. Didn't say a goddamn word. He finally saw the pipe in my hand. "What's with the pipe?" I said. "Protection. Just in case of a wolf or something." "A wolf?" He cackled like a fucking manic witch. "That's all that's out here, boy." Now I was getting really uneasy. I didn't like any of this. "Why don't you follow me back to my house and we'll call your parents?" Didn't know I could ever run that fast. I beat the devil, I know it, leaped over that creepy fence, and flew back to my house. Funnily enough, seemed like the trip back went 1,000 times faster than the trip in. It seemed like I got home in like 20 minutes. Never told anyone. Parents would never fucking believe me. Never went back. First time I've ever shed light on this story. I still don't get it to this day. What was the point of the goddamn spider web? Just a sicko living in the middle of nowhere? Off the grid?
Live in Deep Woods, Kansas. Deep Woods. Literally have to drive a mile to the nearest house and 7 miles to the nearest grocery store. Kind of a hermit. Have about 3,840 acres I haven't got around to selling. Most of it is my corn. Due to my isolation, I get really depressed sometimes. Wake up in the middle of the night about a year ago. Get up, make a cup of coffee, pack a dip, and sit on my porch. It's about 1 o'clock. Suddenly, I see a massive light over one of my fields. Freaking out, but thinking I can catch some kids making crop circles in my fields. Never had previously happened. Get my torchlight, fresh can of Copenhagen, and make the trek through my woods to the source of the light. Very moonlit region of semi-forested land I need to walk through. Come up to a large stream I need to pass over. At this point, the light has burned out. Walk over a rusty old rotted wood bridge. At the opening to my field, walk to the center of it. Nothing unusual. No trace of light. Maybe there was something in my coffee. Start walking back. Arrive at my bridge. There are wet paw prints all over it. Looks like a mountain lion. Realize I didn't bring my gun. Run over the bridge. Wood snaps. I fall in the creek. Wake up to the sun on my face. Lifeguards all around me. I was in a public pool in the middle of August that was 8 miles from my house. I still had my can of Copenhagen on me. Still had my torchlight. Still had shredded jeans from where I had fallen on the bridge. I went to the doctor. Nothing wrong with me. He said it was just sleepwalking, and my running was triggered by fear of the mountain lion. Spooked for a good 6 months straight. Doesn't explain the light. Doesn't explain how I arrived 8 miles from my house with no signs of wear and tear on my boots. Contemplated ending things for a good month. Eventually I got over it, sold my land, and moved into town. More from me. About a month before the incident. Wake up at about 4 a.m. The sun is barely coming over the horizon. Take a jog down the road while listening to some music. 98.9. The Rock FM. Nothing like good old classic rock. Make it to the 1.5 point. Start jogging back. Pass my neighbor, who is also a loner corn farming fag. Me and him never got along though. He always sent me texts about how he wants my sister. He literally saw her once during a BBQ I had a while back that he had been invited to. Half a mile to my house, radio turns to static. Get a phone call, pick it up. It's my neighbor, whose house I just passed by. He says, "Who was that dude running behind you?" Figure he is bullshitting, so I decide to fuck with him. "That's my sister, bro." He replies in a serious tone, "Don't bullshit me, that was a dude." At this point, I am on edge. Ask him, "What the fuck? I was kidding about my sister, but now I am a bit freaked out." Look behind me, no one. The phone call cuts, and static starts playing again. Sprint back to my house. Grab a gun. Sit on my porch for a good 20 minutes with a shotgun in hand. Call my neighbor back. Ask him what the person looked like. He tells me it was a tall dude wearing a bathrobe and carrying something that resembled a clock. Ask him what drugs he had been taking. He hangs up on me. Spooked the fuck out. Didn't sleep easily that night.
Be 15-year-old me. Live in a place called Carterville, Missouri. Have a house that mom and stepdad built. Have about 40 acres of woods behind the house. Decide shortly after the house was built to explore the woods. Find a huge dead tree in a clearing. There are some school desks. Start investigating creepy school desks. See a mattress on the other side of the tree. There's an axe in the mattress. Start to get kind of creeped out, but it's daytime, so okay. Turn around, and my stomach jumps into my throat. My name is spray painted on the tree with a heart around it. Too spooky. Decide to investigate more. Look into the tree branches and see a small pouch hanging from a branch way up. Decide to climb up and get it. The pouch is red and made from a velvety material. Has a heart sewn onto it. The pouch is drawn completely shut. Doesn't feel like there's anything in it. Climb down from the tree and open it. There's an old rotted corpse of a bird in a wasp's nest. Nothing too spooky happened after that. I kept the pouch for a while until it disappeared, or my mother threw it away. I did have a ton of creepy experiences in that house, and the surrounding woods and the nearby mining deposits.
Okay, I've got one. The picture here is one I added to Wikipedia back in the day. It's of the creek where this story happened and was taken the day of the incident, before it happened. B 2006, in the Allegheny National Forest. Know this area really well. This was my 4th visit. Been back multiple times since. Mostly trout fishing, backcountry camping, shooting at shit. General good times. Always go with my same friend, originally from the area but since moved away. On a deep woods fishing excursion. We hike upstream about 8 miles, fishing the whole way. Camp overnight. Return the next day. Made this trip several times before without incident. Still always have a pistol in the woods. Buddy has a little 9-shot .22 revolver. I have my M1911. Always good to be armed. Black bear country. You never know. We hike upstream. Again, we're fishing. Catch some nice rainbows, brookies, and brown trout. Finally camp for the night. Night passes by uneventfully. Everything is going as planned. We start hiking back to our main campsite. Around lunchtime. Cross the creek because there's less brush on the other side. Easier walking. Climb up on the bank over a small berm. Right in front of us is a freshly killed deer. Blood is still fresh. The hindquarters have been eaten by something. Flies everywhere already. Blue and green bottlenose. Just swarming. Damn.jpg. Bear or coyote, probably, my buddy says. Yeah, probably. Keep fishing, moving back downstream. Cross the creek again, now easier walking on the other side. All of a sudden, my buddy's spidey sense goes off, and he moves his hand to his weapon. Outdoorinstinct.exe. Dude is pretty much a pro-level outdoorsman, so I trust his judgment. WTF, dude. My hand moves to my weapon just in case, then a rolling gate on the steep embankment leading up from the creek. We look at each other. He whispers, "Bear." Look up the hill, beyond the large boulder near the creek, and sure enough, a black bear speeds by, top speed through the forest. What's it chasing? Buddy shrugs. Did you hear anything else? One finger to his mouth, shut up Anon. Here's something else running up behind the bear. Smaller, lighter. Look up the embankment again. Deer tearing ass through the undergrowth. Top speed again. What the fuck? GIF. Is that deer chasing the bear? Buddy's look is one of concern. No. Silent signal again. Immediately shut the fuck up. This time he draws his weapon. I follow suit. He hears it first. Then me. Slowly getting louder. Something is coming after the first 2 animals. And it's not small. It's thumping like a bear. But the gait is more reminiscent of a deer. We look at each other and start to move toward the middle of the creek. Slowly. Not too loud. Shh. Stay quiet, Anon. Don't splash. Fuck. Too loud, too loud, too loud. In the middle of the creek, and we both look over at the embankment. From around the large boulder, a deer appears, or at least it looked like a deer at first glance. It was 8 feet tall from ground to head, easily. It stops. We stop. Weapons ready, but still pointed down. The deer stands up on its hind legs and lets out the most god-awful noise. The only way to describe it is a roar. It heels back on its hind legs and enters the water, coming toward us. Roars again. This scares me a lot. .jpg. We backed up. Then I see it, in his open maw, the teeth of a carnivore, dripping with fresh blood. Another roar. Shoot it! Magdump.exe. We're already bounding our way out of the creek to the bank behind us as we fire. We're practically point blank. The bullets don't seem to faze it. I can't even see them hit it. No blood. No nothing. The only thing that happened was the creature appeared to almost glitch out in front of us. Like a static-filled TV broadcast, but not quite as obvious. Fuck it. We're running. Out of the creek, and we're tearing through the forest. I'm sliding another magazine in. Buddy is trying to frantically reload his revolver on the run. We can hear it coming out of the water and giving chase on all fours. I just start firing wildly behind us, trying to buy us time. We can hear it coming out of the water and giving chase on all fours. Run, fucker! Run! Top fucking speed. We reach a clearing after practically sprinting for about a mile. Out of breath, we stop and turn to watch behind us. No sign of anything. Nothing seems to be following now. Reload. Still miles from our base camp. We hike all the way back without stopping. No fishing today, Anon. We arrive to the safety of our base camp. To this day, both of us experienced outdoorsmen, have no idea what kind of mutant deer creature we encountered that day, but we both have one hell of an Innawoods story to tell.
It's my 17th birthday, and my whole extended family takes a camp trip to Beaver Lake. The family is staying in cabins. My cousin, brother, and I say, fuck that. Move to Innawoods. Pack up the tent and move about half a mile closer to the lake and camp near the bank. Set up the tent and get weird vibes. Ignore the vibes. Probably just nerves from seeing the whole family. They're super judgmental of teen me. Finish setting up the tent and trek back up to the family. Get to camp with everyone. Hang out. Drink first beer. Go swimming in the lake. Still feel weird, like something's watching me all day. Oh well. Night rolls around and we set up camp. Weird energies all around. Brother isn't really talking. Cousin is dead quiet. I'm poking around getting firewood and keeping the fire going. Suddenly, hear something in the woods right around our tent. Sounds like something slow and big. Sounds like it's trying to sneak. I look back at my cousin and brother. They hear it too. Figure it's some sort of animal, so I yell something like, "Get," or whatever. The thing moves a few steps away. Sounds huge, but it's not gone. Can hear it start lumbering forward again. Yell again. But the thing doesn't stop. I don't have my glasses and I have terrible night vision and the woods are dense. Can't be more than 10 feet in front of me. Start to get scared. Brother and cousin back away. I pick up a rock and chuck it into the dark. Hear a thud, followed by an odd guttural noise unlike anything I've ever heard in my life. Hear quick, lumbering footsteps as the thing runs away. Hear a huge splash in the lake. Nope. Go back to cabins for the rest of the trip. Cousin tries to rationalize. Parents laugh at us.
Live in Washington. Friends and I go on regular trips up to Canada's deep woods, plan one in the fall of 2008. We leave October 20th, plan to get back on November 10th, pack our shit, start driving. We're excited because now we can legally bring beer. Cross the border after a couple hours of driving, take the deepest road we can. That deep road turns into a gravel road. That gravel road turns into a dirt road. That dirt road turns into an overgrown trail. Buddy, who was driving, had a Jeep at the time, so no problem. After driving off the trail for an hour, we were at our site. Previously, we had gone to recreational camping areas. This one was new ground. Figure no one pissed at some kids camping this deep in their land. Set up our big-ass tent, put on some tunes, and kick back. Relaxing. Night comes. Wake up a few times, get a bit nervous, but nothing spookworthy. We all wake up at about 7 a.m., hungover and hungry. Cook up some gravy and bacon on a camper stove. Me and my buddy Jim decide to go fishing at a stream nearby. We arrive and see an old bridge. Obvious it hasn't been used in years, but the overgrown road connecting it intrigues us. We catch a few trout and head back to tell our buddies about the old road. We all decide to follow it because we're kinda bored waiting for nighttime. Me, Jim, and the rest of our buddies, we had 5 altogether, arrive at the bridge. Follow the road a good mile, find a natural spring, drink up. Nothing really interesting. Go back to camp, start drinking again, vent to each other about our emotional problems, pass out drunk, wake up at 4 a.m. It's still dark out. Jim is standing over me. Spooked, hope he isn't possessed. Ask him what the fuck he's doing. I wanted to talk to you. He tells me he wants to try going down the other side of the road. Tell him we can later in the day if we're bored enough. He tells me he wants to do it now in an angry tone. Tell him to fuck off and that he's still drunk. Jim calms down and apologizes. Go back to sleep. He seems kind of off the whole day. Go fishing with a different friend. Catch some trout. Return to camp. We decide to have a whittling contest. We have never been this bored during a camping trip. Night comes. Drink a few beers to the point where I am drunk enough to be manipulated. Jim didn't drink anything. It's twilight at this point. Jim tells me he made a friend while me and my friend were fishing. Laugh at him 'cause drunk. He wants me to come meet him. He drags me to the stream and we climb onto the bridge. He tells me he went down the road by himself at about 5 a.m. Even my drunk self gets an uneasy feeling about this. He tells me to follow him. Wanting to figure out what the hell he was talking about, I followed. Walked down the previously unexplored other side of the road for about 1.5 miles. Walking while drunk sucks. Tell him I don't want to walk anymore. He convinces me and tells me everything is going to be awesome. We arrived at where his friend was staying. It's an old cabin. I am extremely freaked out now. We walked into the cabin. It's very old, dead bugs and creaky floorboards everywhere. He tells me to sit and wait. I tell him that this is creepy and stupid. I get up and try to leave. He shuts the door before I can leave. I sit down, trapped with a fucking weirdo that used to be Jim. We wait. My watch beeps. It's 12 o'clock now. Call up my buddies and tell them where we are. It's all static, but I hope they can hear me. Suddenly the door opens. A large man and a young girl walk in. Jim introduces me to the man. His name is Travis. He seems really off, possibly Asperger's. Suddenly, 5 more people walk in, wearing robes and holding old books. They are all holding candles, and that's when it dawns on me. I am in the middle of a fucking cult meeting. They all give me funny looks, but look at Jim like he's normal. I ask them what's going on. Travis explains to me, we needed someone. We didn't think Jim here would bring you, hence the point of this girl. The girl was thin and looked like she was in her mid-20s. Ask if I can leave. Jim gives me a dirty look. Travis smiles and says I can, but he will need me tomorrow if he can't find someone else. Ask if he can use the girl for whatever he was planning to do for tomorrow's meeting. He laughs and says, that completely defeats the purpose. I am sober now. I leave and run and don't look back. Wake up, all my friends. They are still faded. They laugh at what I tell them. Sit in the tent all night thinking. Morning comes and I wake my friends up. Tell them what happened again. And considering Jim is missing, they are all a bit freaked out. While waiting for Jim to come back, we pack up ready to leave. Jim comes back at about lunchtime with a big grin on his face. Ask him what he's so happy about. It worked, he says. What worked? I ask. You'll see, he responds. Jim then notices that everything is packed up. He gets noticeably frustrated. He tells us that we have enough beer to last us a whole week and that we should stay one more night. My friends interrogate him, asking what the fuck he was doing. He tells them he was doing an early morning fishing trip for salmon, an obvious lie. Eventually, he protests to the point we decide to stay one more day to finish off the booze. I tell Jim I am not going back. Night falls. I have one beer, just one. My friends are drunk off their asses and are venting to each other about how they are held back and better than their fathers who beat them. Being sober while your friends are drunk is hilarious. Suddenly, I get super tired. I feel like I am passing out. I scream to my friends to help me. Just before it all fades to black, I remember something. Jim was the one who handed me the beer. Suddenly, I open my eyes. All I can remember was getting dragged. Gravel, thorns, and dirt were buried into my ass. Blackness again. I wake up. No idea what's going on. Then, adrenaline rush. I am shackled to the floor of the cabin I had been in the previous day. There are symbols surrounding me. Travis is standing above me. Sorry, we couldn't find anyone else, but you'll do fine. What the fuck? I struggle to get out of my chains. I see Jim smiling, wearing a robe and holding a book. Travis grabs a bloodied, rusted fillet knife from under a floorboard. They start chanting. Travis is walking towards me. A second adrenaline rush kicks in. I pull with all my strength, and a floorboard my arm was shackled to bursts free, followed by my other arm. Using my combined leg and arm strength, my legs burst free, splintering the floorboards. I am heavily weighed down by chains and wood. Travis runs at me while screaming in a language I do not know. I swing my arm at him, which in turn cuts the chain into my wrist. The free wooden floorboard smacks the knife out of his hand. He gets a look of anger in his eye. I run to the door and burst it with my shoulder open, breaking my shoulder in the process. I run out as fast as I can, almost tripping on my chains every step. I make it back to camp and the sun is starting to rise. Scream to my friends and tell them to start the car. Then they see me, chained on all limbs with floorboards dangling off each loose end. They freak out and put me in the Jeep. One of them asks where Jim is. I tell them to forget Jim. We drive down the road as fast as we can. We make it back to the border, tell them what happened. I went to a hospital, got the chains removed and my shoulder patched up. We begin driving back to Washington. We make it back. I move to Southern California. End up having to regularly see a psychologist for 3 years. Never want to experience anything like that again.
This happened a couple years ago, and thinking about it still freaks me out. Be me 2 years ago. Summer break. Staying at a friend's overnight. 2 a.m. Friend and I have nothing to do, so we start Googling haunted places near us. Read about a closed-down monastery up in the mountains where a nun took her life by grabbing a kid, place doubled as an orphanage, and jumping in a pool of water. Supposedly haunted. Look it up on Google Maps, it's a few miles away. Overgrown with trees and shit now since it's up in the mountains. Decide since there's nothing to do, we might as well check it out. Pack up with flashlights and head out. Get psyched up telling stories on the way up. Finally, get there, park in some trees and walk to the entrance. The whole place is fenced off with barbed wire, so we decided to try the main gate. Friend starts climbing the gate, immediately gets the shit scared out of him when a security guard shines a flashlight in his face and starts cussing him out. The guard yells at us both to leave or he's going to call the cops. It turns out the landowners put up the wire and hired a private security place after some teenagers broke in a few years ago, and one of them got hurt and sued. We leave and go to get in the car, buckle up, and are getting ready to leave when my friend stops dead and just stares. I look out the windshield at what he's staring at and almost shit myself. Inside the fenced-off area, walking through the trees, was a woman in a dated-looking white dress. Not coming at us, not screaming or anything stupid like that, just walking in a straight line parallel to where we parked, inside the grounds of this place. Friend and I look at each other, burn rubber, and spend the rest of the night with all the lights in his place on.
I swear you won't believe me. I'm not scared of ghosts, so when I actually encountered one, I had my fun. Midnight. On a trail with a few friends in the woods. See dust floating in the air, making a human-shaped figure between some trees about 70 feet away. My friends freak the fuck out. I'm not scared at all. I always wanted to encounter a ghost. I grab a rock and throw it at the ghost. My friends get mad that I'll piss the ghost off. I shit you not, we hear the ghost cry. They run away. I yell to the ghost, "That's what you get, bitch!" Then catch up to my friends.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.